Hello, hello, hello. How are you? In this Photoshop video, I want to show you how to delete recent files in Adobe Photoshop, which for many people can be very annoying, these recent files that appear below. How to remove them? There are two ways to delete these recent files in Photoshop. These files are created as a recent. Whether you're creating a new document, if you're going to work on a project, with a measurement, a specific size for the design, print, social media, whatever. In this case, if you are going to open a document, if you're going to edit an image, you're going to work on a composition or whatever. In this case, Photoshop is always handled in two modalities, create, edit. From the point of view, for example, of the photographer, what he does is that he edits, taking it from that perspective. So, there are two ways to remove this, one that is temporary and one that is fixed. We're going to look at the first way to delete them, which is basically here in File, Recent, Open Recent, Clear List of Recent Files. If we do it here, the list is deleted perfectly. And that's it. What is happening here, that when we reopen Photoshop again, it reloads the list directly just like it was earlier with the last files that we just saw and that were just deleted. In this first way, doing it per file, deleting the recent list only deletes it temporarily while you have Photoshop open. Since you close it and come back and open it, it comes back and loads you again the list of recent files. Well, perfect. But there is a second option. Let's search for an image from the computer. We can put it here. Any image. As a recent file, we're going to close it, and we already have an image there as a recent file, so we can enable the next option. The next option, after you have already seen that this one is working here, open recent, delete list, and that it is temporary. The second is managed directly by the preferences area. The preferences area that is here, preference, if it's in English, preferences, and let's go to the file management part. And in file management, when this window pops up, you're going to see at the end the option that shows you the list of recent files. And here it tells me that in the case as I have it set up, it's going to show me a recent of the last 20 files when I open Photoshop. In this case, if in this part I put a 0, so now, regardless of whether I open and close Photoshop, let it open. On the Adobe Photoshop welcome screen, the welcome screen will remain empty. If I hit OK here and I go back, close and open it, it's automatically going to be massive. In this case, it stays with the last one. But when you close Photoshop and go back and open it, it will no longer load anything because here, in the Preferences, File Management, you set it 0. Perfect. And if you want it to be automatically deleted from now on, you can then go to File, Recent App, delete the list, and in this way, already removing in the Preference option that the Rezen files appear on the welcome screen or on the welcome desktop of Photoshop. Then you won't see him again. This option is also very interesting for people who do not want to see, for example, all that mess, as I say, of images on the initial screen, because they simply already have all their documents well defined, well located, and organized, and they simply go or open or create according to their non-specific need. So, with this, you know the two ways. It's 1. Permanent in the settings, and one is temporary the moment you have Photoshop open until you go back and it opens it, which comes back and exits. The one that is of configuration preference is permanent. And see you later. My name is Francisco Garcia, and I'll see you in a next Adobe Photoshop tutorial. Thank you very much for being here. Remember to subscribe to the channel, comment, and activate the little bell for new content that I upload to the platform. Bye-bye.